Hello everyone, I'm Long. Now we'll answer the question 1 in chapter 4. Explain each of the following statements using the supply and demand diagrams. I have prepared supply and demand diagrams for 3 statements. So, as you can see, the supply number 1 is the supply before the event start, and the supply number 2, supply 2 is the supply curve after the event start. And they may just stand still because those events doesn't change the demand. So the first statement, when a cold snap hits Florida, the price of orange juice rises in supermarkets throughout the country because the material of orange juice is orange, and when the cold snap hits Florida, the orange crop is destroyed, so it's made a shortage of supply of orange. So this in, this make the price of orange juice increase because the supply source is reduced, and the demand is still staying the same because the cold snap doesn't affect on the demand. The statement number 2, when the weather turns warm in New England every summer, the price of hotel rooms in Caribbean resorts plummets. Because New England and Caribbean are different places, so the visitor will go to New England or Caribbean. So when the weather turns warm in New England every summer, so the more visitors will come to New England than Caribbean. So this make the number of visitors come to Caribbean reduce. So they have to decrease the price of hotel rooms to get more visitors, and the demand isn't changed. The demand isn't changed by the weather. So the price have to fall. And the statement number 3, when a war breaks out in the Middle East, the price of gasoline rises and the price of a used Cadillac falls. Because when a war happens, the people and the factory tend to manufacture the weapon and other goods than necessary. The gasoline become luxury and not necessary, so the price of gasoline is rising. While the wars it destroyed the road and facility for cars to run on, so this made the demand for the Cadillac falls. So all this result to the rising price of gasoline and decrease in price of used Cadillac. So that's all for my part. Thank you for listening.
And the next question is, you are the curator of a museum. The museum is running short of funds, so you decide to increase revenue. Should you increase or decrease the price of admission, and explain? With this question, in my opinion, I think that to determine whether you should raise or lower the price of admission, you need to know if the demand of it is elastic or inelastic. If demand is elastic, a decline in the price of admission will increase total revenue. If demand is inelastic, an increase in the price of admission will cause total revenue to rise.
Mystery novel have elastic demand than require textbook because it have close substitutes and are a luxury good, while required textbook are a necessity with no close substitutes. If the price of mystery novels were to rise, readers could substitute other types of novel or buy fewer novels altogether. Beethoven recordings have more elastic demand than classical music recordings in general. Beethoven recordings are a narrow market to classical music recordings, so it's easy to find close substitutes for them. If the price of Beethoven recordings were to rise, people could substitute other classical recordings like Mozart. Subway rise during the next 5 levels of elastic demand than subway rise during the next 6 months because goods have a more elastic demand over longer time horizons and inelastic demand over shorter time horizons. Root beer has more elastic demand than water. Root beer is a luxury with no substitutes, while water is a necessity with no close substitutes. If the price of root beer were to rise, consumers could easily switch to other ideas.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to present to you the problems and application 1 and 6 of chapter 6, supply, demand and the government policies. Question 1. When the government imposes a legal maximum for the price of a good, this is known as a price ceiling. If the price ceiling being imposed is below the equilibrium price and the price ceiling is binding and causes a shortage in the market. So if the equilibrium price is $40 or below, a price ceiling of $40 is not binding and has no effect on the number of people attending the musical concerts. However, if the equilibrium price in the absence of the price controls is above $40 per ticket, then imposing a price ceiling of $40 will cause a quantity demanded to exceed the quantity supplied, causing a shortage of tickets and a decrease in the number of people who attend the classical music concerts. Question 2. Question 6. I suppose if the government places a $550 tax on the luxury cars, the price paid by consumer will rise by less than $500. The burden of any tax is shared by both producers and consumers. The price paid by the consumer rises and the price received by the producer falls. If the difference between the two equal to the amount of the tax. Therefore, if the government places a $500 tax on luxury cars, the price paid by the consumer will rise by less than $500. If only exceptions would be if the supply curve were perfectly elastic or demand curve were perfectly inelastic, in which case consumers would bear a full burden of the tax, and the price paid by the consumer will rise by exactly $500.